I'm broke! How did I spend it all?
You say yes to plans you can't afford. You upgrade your lifestyle before your income supports it.
Why did I buy all this?
You buy things to fit in. You feel anxious every time you check your bank account. Here's what's happening. You're spending according to other people's expectations instead of your own reality. And it's keeping you trapped in a cycle that's slowly destroying your financial future. We're going to break down the lifestyle pressure loop, why it exists, how it's controlling you, and exactly how to escape it using a framework that explains human motivation in stages. Because here's the truth. You can't skip the foundation and expect the rest to hold. Before we talk about solutions, let's understand what's actually happening. Your 20s are full of noise. Friends invite you out. Social media says you should be traveling the world. Everyone's posting outfits, apartments, cars, vacations, and soft life aesthetics. And without even realizing it, you start spending money to match the environment around you, not the life you actually want. This isn't a character flaw. This is biology. Humans are wired to seek acceptance. For thousands of years, being part of the group meant survival. Being excluded meant danger. So your brain constantly scans your environment and asks, am I fitting in? Am I keeping up? Am I being left behind? When your friends go out for expensive dinners, your brain registers staying home as potential exclusion. When everyone's posting vacation photos, your brain interprets not traveling as falling behind. This is the lifestyle pressure loop. Your environment sets the standard. Your brain interprets that standard as necessary for belonging. And your spending follows automatically. Not because you're irresponsible, but because you're human. Here's what's important. As you get older, your social circle gets smaller. Many of the people you're trying to impress right now won't even be in your life 5 years from now. So the question becomes, why are you building your financial habits around people who aren't even permanent? Let's identify where financial pressure is showing up in your life right now. Your daily spending habits. Do you feel tension when friends suggest plans? Do you say yes automatically, even when your budget says no? This is where most people hold financial stress, in the constant micro decisions between fitting in and staying stable. Your living situation. Are you stretching to afford rent in a neighborhood that impresses people? Are you choosing image over foundation? The thought, I need to live somewhere that looks successful, creates chronic financial strain. Your appearance. Do you buy clothes to keep up? Upgrade your phone every year? Feel pressure to look a certain way? When you think, people judge me by what I wear, or I need the latest version, your spending adapts to maintain that image. Your social calendar. Is there heaviness around weekend plans? Anxiety about being seen as cheap? Your social life is incredibly sensitive to financial stress. Thoughts like, I can't say no, or I'll miss out, trigger spending that you later regret. Your savings account, or lack of one. Is there tightness when you think about emergencies? A knot when you imagine your future? This is where deep financial anxiety lives, particularly around safety and security. Look at your entire financial situation. Are you stretched thin or building margin? Stressed or stable? Your financial life might feel like it's barely holding together, even though you look fine on the outside. Here's what's important. Lifestyle pressure isn't just about money. It's a psychological loop that's keeping you stuck. Your thoughts about success create emotions. Those emotions trigger spending behaviors. Those behaviors affect your financial stability. And when that instability persists, it sends signals back to your brain that reinforce the original thoughts. This is a loop. For example, you think, I need to look successful. That activates your brain's social comparison system. You see what others have. This creates emotions, inadequacy, fear of being left behind, desire to belong. Now here's where the loop closes. These emotions drive you to spend. The expensive dinner, the vacation you finance, the apartment that stretches your budget. And when your bank account drops, when you feel that financial stress, your brain interprets it as confirmation that you're behind. So it thinks the thought again. See, I need to catch up. I need to look more successful. Day after day, the cycle continues. The thought creates the feeling creates the spending, and the financial stress reinforces the thought. This is why you can't just budget better your way out. The pressure is in your mindset, sending signals constantly that you need to keep up. Now let's shift this pattern. Building financial freedom happens through awareness, boundaries, and intentional choices. First, redefine minimalism. Minimalism isn't about owning nothing. It's about not being owned by your habits. It's the mindset of preparing yourself to say no when you need to, so you can say yes when you want to. When you constantly prepare your life to say yes, yes to every outing, yes to every upgrade, yes to every trend, there will eventually come a moment when you're forced to say no. Because your money, your energy, and your stability have run out. Minimalism protects you from that moment. It creates space. It creates choices. And choices are the foundation of freedom. Second, choose the right yes. Not all spending is equal. Some spending is investment. Some is performance. Say yes to opportunities that build skills. Courses, certifications, books, mentorship. These compound over time. Say yes to learning. Travel that genuinely expands your perspective. Experiences that challenge you or connect you with people who matter. Say yes to relationships that matter. Spending on people who actually show up for you, who would be there even if you had nothing. Say yes to anything that gives long-term value. Your health, your well-being, quality items that last years. But say no to things that give you temporary image at the cost of stability. The designer purchases you can't afford. The lifestyle upgrades that strain your budget. The keeping up with people whose financial situations are completely different from yours. Your goal isn't to look rich. Your goal is to be secure enough to choose your future. Now let's ground this in something deeper. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This framework explains human motivation in 5 levels, and it maps perfectly onto financial stability. Level 1, physiological needs, survival. At the base is basic survival: food, water, shelter, clothing. Today, money provides those things. If you skip this foundation by overspending, you weaken the entire structure. You can't build anything stable if you're stressed about making rent. Level 2, safety needs, stability. This is financial security, savings, emergency funds, predictable stability. Knowing that if something goes wrong, job loss, car trouble, medical emergency, you won't collapse. If you spend everything to impress others, you skip this stage, and nothing above it can feel real or safe. Level 3, love and belonging, relationships. Once you have stability, you can build relationships based on connection instead of performance. People can feel when you're secure, and people can feel when you're drowning. When you're stable, your relationships can be real. You show up as yourself, not as a performance. Level 4, esteem, confidence, and achievement. True esteem comes from discipline and growth, not from buying things to look the part. Real confidence comes from knowing you can handle your life. Borrowed confidence comes from things you bought to convince others you can handle your life. Level 5, self-actualization, fulfillment. This is where life feels meaningful. When you pursue your purpose, passions, creativity. But you can't reach this stage if the foundation is cracked. You can't think about purpose when you're stressed about money. Maslow's hierarchy is a ladder, and the only way up is from the bottom. You cannot skip levels. Now let's clarify the relationship between your present and future self. Present you is trying to keep up, trying to match the energy and lifestyle of everyone around you. Present you wants to feel included, admired, successful, right now. This version experiences the pressure, the comparison, the constant checking of what others are doing. Future you is the person who will inherit every financial decision you make today. Future you will either thank you or resent you. What would that version want from you right now? Probably stability. Probably margin. Probably room to breathe. Probably freedom from the pressure you're currently under. Building for your future is not selfish. It's strategic. It's self-respecting. It's long-term love for the person you're becoming. Every time you choose to save instead of spend, you're protecting future you. Every time you say no to lifestyle pressure, you're building the foundation that gives you real freedom later. This isn't about sacrifice. This is understanding that the most important relationship you'll ever have is with your future self. And that relationship is built through the choices you make today. You've just learned the framework, but your old patterns will try to reassert themselves. Lifestyle pressure has been conditioning you for years. It's familiar. So here's what daily practice looks like. When friends suggest expensive plans, pause. Ask yourself, is this building my future or performing for the present? Choose consciously. This interrupts the automatic yes. When you feel the urge to upgrade, place your attention on your savings goals and remind yourself, I'm building something bigger than this moment. When you see others posting their lifestyle, pause and remember, you're not seeing their full picture, their debt, their stress, their private struggles. When you catch yourself comparing, redirect your focus to your own progress. Are you better off than last year? That's what matters. These small interventions throughout your day prevent lifestyle pressure from controlling your decisions. The more you practice, the more you choose foundation over performance, the more your baseline shifts. What used to feel like deprivation starts to feel like freedom. What used to feel necessary starts to feel optional. You're not just managing money, you're rewiring your relationship with success. You're teaching yourself that security is more valuable than image. As you move through your late 20s and early 30s, something shifts. The desire to impress fades. The need for stability grows. Your circle gets smaller, but more meaningful. You start valuing peace over attention. You start thinking long-term instead of week to week. And slowly, you realize something important. The only person who lives with the consequences of your financial choices is you. Not your friends, not your followers, not the people you were trying to impress. Just you and the life you're building. This realization changes everything. When you're younger, you spend trying to prove something to others. As you mature, you realize the only person you need to prove anything to is yourself. And what you need to prove isn't that you can look successful. It's that you can be stable, secure, and free. This is why planning for your future isn't boring. It's powerful. It's freedom. It's adulthood done with intention. The people who figure this out early spend their 30s building the life they actually want, instead of recovering from the life they pretended to want in their 20s. Your 20s don't have to be a decade of financial regret. They can be the decade where you break the cycle and choose stability over image. Remember, financial pressure didn't build overnight, and it won't disappear overnight. But every time you choose foundation over performance, you're changing your trajectory. You're teaching yourself a new way of building. You deserve to live without the constant pressure to keep up. You deserve to feel secure in your own life. The lifestyle pressure loop is real, but now you know how it works. And now you know how to escape it. Before you go, I'd love to invite you to explore the rest of my channel. You'll find insights about how your mind, habits, health, money, and relationships shape your life, giving you practical guidance to show up clearer and more confident. If this helped you understand the lifestyle pressure trap, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is released. Thank you for being here.